All right, welcome everybody. This is the Club NFT Podcast, and I got a very special guest on today. We got Elio, and he's from the Gorillae Gang, and he's here to talk about so many levels. He's been in the space for a long time. I'm really excited to have him on this show, and I believe throughout this conversation, not only are we going to hear about sustainability in the space as a whole, but just how we, as humans, we dive into NFTs to make the world a better place. And there's something very interesting on the back end that Elio has to offer. And I'm really looking forward to hearing the story. So Elio, my friend, how you living, my man? How you doing? Let's hear about it. Let's
Hello,
go.
hello everyone. Thank you for having me, Trevor. It's been a dream of mine in the last few months. So I'm very happy that we got it finally to manifest it, and happy to bring the Gorillae Gang and our story and our mission to the whole world. So I mean, I've been just being blessed, as many of us are in the NFT community, and I'm so happy that I'm have the opportunity to share with you and with your audience. So thank you again for having me. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing freaking good. And, we're here actually creating a YouTube series as well. It's cool that we got the video on as well. So if you guys ever do want to tune in more of the live feed and see our body language, you can definitely go ahead and hop on the YouTube and see that ourselves. That'll be all linked in the show notes. But Elio, quick one. I'm just seeing your eyes are chopped off in the feed. So I think you got to back up from your camera so I can see your eyeballs too. So
Let me
just
see.
your camera
Is that better?
position. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. That's better right there. Yeah,
Let's
because
go. I mean,
I don't want to just see your mouth,
that's
or
weird because I was
or
looking
the guests that are
at
listening.
it.
Yeah.
All right,
No,
man.
no,
I
we're
mean,
good.
it looks like you're in the sunset over there in the beach. So you kind of already know what the vibe is with our project, since we're in Tulum. So I'm very excited that to get to share and talk about this with you, because you kind of get already the notion of how everything's going down in Mexico as far as sustainability, and also the big opportunity of investment as far as real estate. And also, of course, you already know everything going on in the Solana and how we're pushing the space. So I mean, you're the guy that I think you've got really understand what we got going on. So yeah, man. I mean, what do you want to start on? I'm very excited just to. I don't even know where to start. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll guide you through the process. And just like you said, I'm probably the guy that is here to learn more about what you're up to and a little bit in the know. I don't know everything yet, but that's the point of this podcast and the series here is simply to get to know what you guys are up to. Yes, I'm in beautiful Mexico, Puerto Escondido. You can see it in the feed. I'm actually on my rooftop in my house. Great spot to record some content, some video, and it's more quiet, etc. But that being said, why don't we start off where a little bit, Gorillae Gang kind of conceptualized, like how long ago was that? And, leading into an actual launch. Let's hear about the starting point, and then we're going to kind of go into more depth from there.
Yeah, man, definitely. So the story begins, of course, I got into NFTs and Ethereum, then I discovered Solana. And obviously, I wanted to do something with it because I saw the potential, how fast it was growing, how affordable it was, how eco friendly it was as well. And I decided to start with doing education. Then I stumbled into one of my good friends from real life, Francisco. They call him Tarzan. So they call him Tarzan because he has that beautiful long hair, just like Tarzan in real life. And he's always been that friend that you got that he's a friend that cares deeply about the environment and Mother Earth, and doing an impact, a positive impact on it. So he started his own brand. This is Gorillae Matcha. He started that brand 5 years ago with that purpose to just bring more awareness into sustainability, bring more awareness into recycling, and everything that's what we call like green ventures. Now, when I stumbled into NFTs and I saw something like Thugbirds back in the day, they donated 10%, I believe, to wildlife.org. So I'm like, oh, that's amazing. I mean, they minted out, they created a great community. It's these pixelated Thugbirds. They're so cool for the culture. Plus, they're doing something good for the environment. So I got inspired by that, and I just linked up with Tarzan, Francisco, and I'm like, man, you have an amazing product, an amazing brand, and I really think that if you create an online community through NFTs and Web3, that they can really benefit not only your product but your actual mission, which is to have a positive impact on the environment and its inhabitants. So I mean, that was the beginning of it. That was October of 2021 when we just had this conversation and conceptualized. So that was the beginning, man. I was so fortunate that he believed in me as far as the Web3 aspect of things, because he didn't know nothing. Like he know about sustainability. He knows about like creating a brand, but he didn't know anything in the blockchains side of things. So we were able to trust each other and create this ride, this roller coaster of a year now. Because I mean, even though it started on October, we didn't mint until February. So we're closing in. I believe it's in 3 more days, our 1 year anniversary.
That's so exciting. 1 year anniversary since your launch day, right? Right. That was your
Since the
mint day,
mint,
correct?
yes,
Yeah. So with the Gorilla Matcha, so already established business. It's been around, I guess, now for about 5 years. I think it was established, what, 2017 that it started kicking off the ground?
2017, correct,
Yeah, so
correct.
2017, already existing business. From my understanding as well, I read on the website, every matcha bag that you buy, a tree is planted. Is that correct?
Correct. So that's actually how I got inspired by Francisco. Before NFTs, before everything, I saw his matcha brand, and I'm like, it's $20 a pack. I mean, just full disclosure. And for you guys that at home that don't know, if it only takes $1 as far as cost to plant a tree. So for
Hmm.
every $20 that's a package, we just take $1 and then we plant a tree. We've been doing that with one tree planted organization for the last 5 years, and that's what got me really into this movement of supporting his brand. So, as soon as I learned about NFTs, I'm like, we can take this to the next level. Not only just plant one tree per product that we sell, but we can also make much more with all the NFTs and all the community that builds. And yeah, like that's
Yeah.
how I love this project since the beginning.
Yeah, so I want for the listeners to take note here and throughout the conversation that we have in this episode to take really note of, hey, you know what? Elio, he's been an expert driving, going into the space, going deep, just getting involved, right? Learning about, the education side and really just got his feet wet. But basically, he then approach already an established real life brand and be like, yo, I think you could do huge things if we kind of bridge the two together, right? If we created another community and presence in the Web3 side of things. So I want you guys to think, as we go through this episode, what, brands out there that you already know of, or maybe friends or businesses that you're, connected with that maybe could, learn from this episode, some sort of model that they could deliver into their business as well, some application, or even just some ideas for yourself, right? I truly believe NFTs is a land of opportunity. And just like this is just one of the opportunities. So as we go through this episode, I really want the listeners to think on that note, maybe take some notes and go in on, on that higher level focus here. So Elio, so when you came across, hey, you know what? Let's take this matcha brand and bring it into NFTs. Where did some of those building blocks? Where did those first conversations? Let's go back to like this October time. You've now just started approaching and open this conversation. What did that conversation look like? And let's go from there.
Well, first, like you mentioned, and yes, to everyone listening, this is what we're trying to do, like just to bring more of the regular world that we call, the Web 2, the regular businesses into this new world. So I was asking Tarzan at the beginning. I'm like, besides the one tree that you plant per product, what else would you wish that you were able to do if you had
Mm,
more business coming your way, right? Or you had more supporters of your brand. He said, I would love to have some beach cleanups. We live in Texas in the middle of the desert. Of course, we don't have a beach, but we said it would be cool if we can have beach cleanups, because that brings a lot of awareness and a fun side to this recycling industry that we always think about recycling. We associate it with the trash, right? Like it's something like a chore. Like, oh my god, I gotta recycle. Like do that. Like it's a hassle. But if you make it fun, like hey, you know what? We're gonna go to the beach and we're gonna all clean up as a group, as a community, and you actually meet a lot of people, a lot of young people that are traveling. Like in Mexico, that's why we picked Tulum, and I'll get more into why we picked Tulum. But the conversation was like, what would you love to have done by that community? So of course, scaling, not just buying a product and then we plant a tree, but just having that community involved. And that's why we decided to go ahead and start the weekly beach cleanups. Then we decided, okay, where is a good place we can do this? So we actually did spend those 3 months since October when we started up until the mint day planning the art, but in the same time we were planning we were doing market research. So Tulum is the fastest growing city in Latin America since the pandemic to now. Now Mexico is the third most visited country since the pandemic to now. So I mean, we see the boom of digital nomads as well with the pandemic, and a lot of them have traveled or have moved into beaches, and Mexico is one of the main destinations for it. So what I started seeing is a migration of people like yourself and myself that we come from the states, but we're moving into less developed and more beautiful places because we're able to just like rent an Airbnb or buy a piece of real estate that is cheap and then just live that way. And I started seeing how the travel industry was gonna also get affected. So I mean, I thought that Tulum was a perfect spot, given that a lot of tourists are coming, a lot of people that already are into crypto. Like we see a lot of like Bitcoin whales. Actually, they've come into Tulum over the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
They bought a land and just settled here. So I thought it was gonna be a great place for adoption. I mean, because I could try to do this in my hometown, right? Talk about NFTs and integrations and all this, but like if they don't see anyone else really doing it, they're not really gonna get it. So I wanted to go into what my dad told me. He's like, you need to go into your target audience. So that's why we moved right into our
Hmm.
target audience. We made the beach cleanups fun, and that's how we got the hype behind the mint. Now, um, just Tulum, it exceeded our expectations as far as how they accepted us, how they understood our plan, but also we were not prepared to the amount of work that it needs to be done in these communities, in these small towns in Mexico. Because being in the States, I often mentioned we're privileged. We often don't think about that we're blessed to having a bin for trash and a bin for recycle, and then just like every
Yeah.
week we have someone coming to basically manage that. We have a waste management system in place, and unfortunately in Mexico that's not the case in many places. So we saw a great hole and a great need for those systems to put in place, and we felt a responsibility to lead that way in that amazing task that of obviously local governments are not taking as a priority. So it was just an eye-opening experience of the amount of potential that we have here, but also the amount of work that we have still to be done.
So I want to gain some clarity here. So basically, you approached Tarzan, right? And was like, "Yo, what else to use your big brand, your legacy want to impact?" And
Yeah,
you mentioned beach cleanups, and now you're like started thinking about Tulum. You brought this as a big idea breaker. So you kind of already had this vision, and you started like getting boots on ground before you minted, or what, did this happen after the mint
correct. So
with the
it was
idea? So
so like I said, we started planning all these conversations on October,
mhm,
then November, December. Now in December we made the decision of Tulum. So we moved
yeah,
there January 1st of 2022. So
very
first day
cool.
of the year, fresh year, we already know what we're gonna do. We talked everything that we needed to talk about.
Yeah.
We planned, we fantasized. Now it's ready to go. It's go time. January 1st, it was go time. We started getting ready with the whitelist, the Discord, collabs, doing
Promoting.
spaces, talking about like what we're gonna do. And February 19th, we just minted out. and we even did 2 or 3 beach cleanups before minting. So we got there the
Yeah.
first 3 weeks. We did our first beach cleanup. We did also an auction. So it was like a one of one gorilla, the first ever gorilla I minted.
Yeah.
It's not part of that collection. It was just a one of one, and that was to fund the first beach cleanup. It went for 4 Solanas. Solana was at $110 back then. So basically, we got like around $440, and that's
Mhm.
how the beach cleanups and the whole movement started, like just 3 weeks
Yeah.
before the mint. It was an amazing feeling, um, and I just get the goosebumps by just talking about it, reliving it in my head.
Yeah, well, first is congratulations, but second, I want to point out too, like you did, you know, a layer of market research, figuring out what is the best. I really like how you took some statistics in there, and you found Tulum to be one of the top places. You know, it's the largest growing place as of right now, and then of all of Mexico, fastest growing city, and then of course choosing Mexico as a great destination, as a lot of people coming here. So taking that all in account, and then actually going in and start taking action before, you know, asking for money before creating a mint, I think is powerful. So
Yeah,
tell
man.
us like what. Yeah, go
No, I
ahead.
was I was gonna mention that was organic. Basically, we didn't plan
Hmm.
like on doing I guess so much before minting. But when we got there and we started talking about what we wanted to do, people were like, "Oh, well, let's do a cleanup this weekend." I'm like, "Oh, but mint it's until like a month." Like, no, we should start before. So it was the community itself. Even before NFTs were available, they were already just so enthusiastic to be a part. So it was just like confirmation that yeah, we should do this mint and we should put everything on it. And as you mentioned, as far as the market research, that was now that I look back, that was probably one of my best plays. I didn't think about it too much when I was just doing the research, but now that I see so many NFT projects come along and do good or not do well, is I think it's because of the market research. You just see that a
Yeah.
correlation. Those that do market research do better than those who don't, even if they have a better brand to start with. So we've seen with
Yeah.
Porch, right?
100%.
So I mean, it's that's just something that I think everyone listening should just give more value into the research. Take your time to really study what you're gonna do and why, and it's gonna pay off in the long run.
Yeah. 100%. So, Elio, so how did the format of the NFT collection, like, what was the point of creating a collection now, and why would I want to even buy one, support this project? You know,
Yeah, I
tell me
mean,
about that.
so that of course the collection, so it's pixelated. So as far as the art goes, anyone that likes pixelated, Solana Monkey Business or even like CyberKongs is a popular one in Ethereum. The CryptoPunks. So we're trying to like cater to that retro, that nostalgia from the '90s. Like we all know the Game Boy, the Pokemon, and the artist, he's a big Pokemon fan. So we put a lot of Pokemon or like that kind of time in the pixelated, and that I mean that's just fun gorillas. As far as the utility, why would you want to buy? Well, first of all, you're supporting this amazing movement. We don't call it a project. We call it more of a movement that has layers to it. So it's a movement that has his brand, its product, but it's also a movement that has his community, his Web3 community. So we see it more as a movement that is happening, and it's just like different fronts that anyone participates, whether it's buying a product or, for example, just being active of the community. Now we do have a staking mechanism where you get 20 tokens a day by staking that Gorillae. Now our token is used, of course, to interact with our ecosystem between the same old, raffles, merch, other mints. We've done other collection mints with our token of our collaborators. We did like Solana TV. We did some Ramen DAO. So we minted a couple collections with our token, and that was it was a cool experience because a smaller
Hmm.
community that they're fan of your community, they have the token, so they're able to do that. We've seen it now with Bonk. It really worked well, so we're happy to have done that early. We're also happy to have done the adoption because many people don't really want to go into NFTs, but we found out that if you tell them that it's for a good cause or a green cause, then they're more open to listening. Okay, like they don't just think it's a picture or like a celebrity. They're like, oh, this is an NFT because we're actually helping the planet. So they're more open for listening to you. Now, what we're planning to do with the token, of course, we want to still secure that more collections mint with our token, but we're trying to use that token into the recycle business, like I touched upon it earlier, the waste management
Mm-hmm.
business that is very lacking in Mexico. So we're talking to small businesses, especially restaurants or food businesses, right? And talking to them about the benefits of having a crypto wallet. Because right now they are bound to using Visa or MasterCard. So if you go into Mexico for vacation right now and you go into any restaurant and you wanna pay, you can pay with your card, but they're gonna charge you from 3 to 5% extra just for using
Mm-hmm.
that credit card service, right? And that the restaurant charges it because the provider charges it. Even like Cash App, I think it charges like 3%. So now if you start accepting something like Solana, something like Dust token, for example, which is the most popular one, or Bank or Shelva from us, then you're able to just pay the small fee that we pay in Solana, which is almost nothing, and just have that transfer done. Of course, also Mexico, it's a heaven as far right now for crypto, since they have the digital assets law, so they're not as strict as the SEC is right here in the states. Um, but I mean, there's a lot of benefits that you can do just by, like you see, like paying for different services, which is what we're working on right now. We bought a truck with money that we made from dust because we had a DGOD and we were staking it. So all the dust that we made passively, we reinvested it and we bought a truck. Now this truck is gonna
Very cool.
serve to pick up plastic from different establishments in Tulum. So how those establishments are gonna pay for this service, this recycling service? They're not gonna pay with pesos. They're not gonna pay with dollars. They're gonna pay with Solana that they make into Shelva, or the Shelva that they get from staking, or the Shelva that they accept from customers when they go and pay. And then now they can use these
Mm-hmm.
tokens to pay for the service, and that's how it all becomes a circle. And we want to prove that it can be done in Tulum. That way we can replicate it and just start doing it all over the world, because the plastic crisis is not going anywhere. The matter of the fact is that we have 9 billion tons of plastic just sitting on all around the planet, and then it's getting burned by the sun and becomes methane, and it's just getting into the atmosphere. So it's a big problem that we have. So that's why the more recycling we can do, the better.
Yeah, or it ends up in the ocean, causes more problems. And, I can agree here because, like, for example, here in Puerto Escondido, um, not everywhere you can use your card. Most places it's just cash, right? Especially at the mom and pop places, you need to use Mexican pesos in order to get anything. The garbage collection service, it's complete, total chaos. Like everything just goes into one bin, it gets sent to the one landfill, and that is that. And then they have people that have to work in very dangerous environments that go into the landfill every day and walk in the piles of trash, and this is their job, usually generational, where now they train their kids to go into this job force as well, and they just kind of pick out anything that they can salvage, whether it is plastics or just something that's salvageable, and that's their job, and then they get paid by salvaging recyclables, and that's their system. And unfortunately there is no system of, hey, I'm going to put my plastic in one bin, I'm going to put my more of my yard waste in another bin, and I'm going to put my plastic and garbage in the other bin, right? So there's definitely a big need for that. And then secondly, like, I really love what you guys are doing in terms of just onboarding new users. For example, even with your mint, you said, hey, you know what? People were more open to getting into something that was more charitable, something that has a good cause and mission behind it, right? That alone onboarded a lot of people. I'm sure of it inside your community that never had a Solana wallet before, never even, bought crypto before, and they just kind of, they start it, right? Or on the other side note too was like, man, you're tapping into these businesses and these restaurants, and you're like, hey, you just got to sign up and do this. This is the way it's going to work. And you help them on board simply by like almost taking action for them or with them, right? So
With
it's
yeah.
really cool to see that, and I love that vision of the project, which is just like onboarding a lot of new users as well.
And so I appreciate that so much. That take is that last part is what I'm focusing on right now. Like, of course, the beach cleanups are still a thing going on weekly down there in Tulum. Of course, the mint is going like it went down. The community in Twitter, it's always going. But as far as like how we gonna make this work in the long term, I think we need to keep onboarding people. That's gonna be the key. Like, keep onboarding new users as these whole like NFT and crypto markets just go through the ups and downs. There's something that you always gonna have, like, just keep onboarding people, and that's what we focus on. And I think that Solana, that's why I love Solana. Like, just shout out Solana. I think it's make it very easy for someone like me, right? When I'm pitching this crazy idea to a business owner, like, just telling him like, yeah, you can download a Phantom wallet. It's easy, and then you can just buy Solana, which is very affordable. You're gonna be able to do transactions very affordable, and you have everything on a ledger. So shout out Solana for being so affordable, so cheap, and also Phantom for having that. I mean, I use Phantom a lot, so I think it's been very easy for me when I just tell them when it's an app. You don't tell them it's like it's blockchain, it's all this. You just make it simple. Download this app. That's gonna be your wallet, and you're onboarded.
Yeah, and then just basic security stuff, super simple, and dial it down for the newest user. I love it. So Elio, so now on your mint day, like what was the use of the funds? What was the breakdown of like, hey, percentage is going here, percentage is going there, and let's get some numbers behind this.
Yeah. So the mint and also the royalties back before we did the 0% royalties, when
Mm-hmm.
back when everyone got royalties no matter what. We did 50% of the mint and 50% of the royalties. They go into the DAO. Now the other 50% they get broken down between the team. That it was 20%. It was 10% for marketing and 20% for development, and also these community wallet that we called. So the DAO money that was used for the ventures, which is the green ventures, which I'll explain, which is of course the recycling, which is also the travel that I'm gonna get into, and all that the stuff. Because that's also on benefits right now. That if you buy a Gorilla, you can have those travel benefits. So that was the DAO funds. But we also had a community wallet, which is what we bought the DGOTs with, right? So that
Mm,
community wallet gave us, I mean, Digas, we bought it at 20. We sold it at 550.
nice.
And in that period, we had it staked. So we made a lot of dust. So yeah, that was what eventually that translated into a truck. So now the DAO owns a truck, which is the one that we use for the recycling business. We also did the partnership with the resort called Ekumal. Now, if you have a gorilla or you have several of them, you get lifetime discounts in that resort. You can also get even free nights depending on how many gorillas you hold. And we just we did an event. So we threw an event similar to I don't know if you heard about the NFT Vegas events that it was thrown by DeFi District, K Money, and others. So we did an event, and we just funded the beach cleanups alongside, well, the whole year so far. Now the team, it built a staking site, it built the token, and it also built a raffle site, which we have available for our holders. We've given out amazing prices between like gold gorillas, which are priced like a 10 Solana minimum. We've given out cats on crack, which back in the day they were like 50, 60 Solanas when we gave it away. We've given away the Utes, which it was probably a best hitter. And um, the royalties, I mean, even the breakdown is the same, but unfortunately, a lot of the trading that's been going on, not always they enforce for royalties, so we not haven't been getting consistent income through royalties.
Dude, super sick. I just dropped out for a little bit,
You
but it
did,
sounds like you kept the flow. So
yeah.
so it's so I kind of lost signal for a second, so I didn't hear anything much that you said, but I think
Surprise.
the recording's still good. So
Yeah, the royalties, it's been hard, since the royalties they were dropped down. We haven't had a steady income of the royalties, but the breakdown's
mhm.
the same for the mint as for the royalties. But really, what we're working on is whatever we have from mint, and all the moves that we made, which is the travel, like I mentioned, the truck, and we did an event, just like NFT Vegas. We also built the staking site, we built the token, and we built a raffle site, which we've given away amazing prizes like cats on crack. We gave away a Utes, we gave away a gold gorilla, and that's what the team has done. Now the event, we also donated part of, or like the budget for the event. We just not did an event, but we also did a tree planting ceremony, and all that footage you
Mm.
can visit our Instagram account. We have a couple of reels, we have a lot of stories, we have videos. Like a lot of our content is very nicely laid out on our Instagram page. So I encourage everyone listening to just go at Gorillae with an NFT. It's the same as Twitter, but for Instagram, and you can see all about the tree ceremony planting that we did, the event, and just everything going on as far as the beach cleanups and the activism that is that's just spurring out.
So at the end of the day, it sounds like you guys hit a lot of targets. You've done a lot in just 1 year alone, and as a project, it's really cool to say because a lot of people say they're going to do a lot of things, and they get to half or not even a single scratch on the surface. You guys have done a lot in just 1 year alone.
Yeah, and I think that
Kudos.
also the I mean we just adapting, right? Like we don't see it as like just this era of NFTs. Like I said earlier before, we're a movement, we have a mission to really help this plastic problem in the world, and we believe
Mm-hmm.
that the NFT community and the Web3 aspect of it is going to help us get to that goal faster and in a more organic way. But I mean, it's more than that. And one thing that I want to mention before the mint happened, we spent $0 on paid promo, influencers, paid marketing. So Tarzan, if you want to keep it like how we're so green as far as like everything we do, so let's keep it green as far as the marketing as well. So we have
Hmm.
only organic marketing, only word of mouth, only people talking to people, showing up, looking at the videos. So it's been a struggle, because I mean, paid promo, of course, it works, it helps a lot. Influencers, whether we like it or not, they do pump backs and they do help a lot of projects. But I think that's not sustainable. So we've kept it organic, which has been a challenge.
Yeah, and there's negative side effects to it too. So
Yeah. So I mean, we kept it organic. It's been hard. It's been slow growth, but it's been steady growth. And
yeah,
everyone that really learns about us, since it's organic, it's like they really need to spend the time. And once they do learn about us, they're like, oh my god, like they know it. It's not like, oh, I just bought it because it was cool, it was hyped. No, like
yeah.
everyone that has a gorilla, it has a sense of the mission and the whole thing as a like the big picture, and I'm really proud of that.
So either way, back to mint day, you guys minted out 3,950 of them. All right,
Correct,
that's your collection size, correct?
correct. But the number was the target was 4,444. So 4444.
Okay.
Now, since like I said, we had organic marketing, so we didn't have any paid marketing. So we
Mhm.
didn't get to our ultimate goal, but we kept it. We did like a little story with it, which I think is really cool. I'm gonna mention it real quick. Imagine that the world it gets destroyed, right? Apocalyptic, because we didn't take care of it, and we just
Mhm.
let this plastic like just flood. We're flooded in plastic. And they imagine there's these aliens, which now there's like all these talk about aliens, right, going on. Imagine these aliens are not really aliens, are like an advanced gorilla civilization, right? That kind of like Harambe, you know, like they're really protective. They care about their children. They care about their environment. So this galactic gorilla gang is really advanced, and they know how to recycle. They know how to take care of each other. So they were coming into Earth. So every time you minted, you basically were like inviting one of these galactic into Earth. And I don't know if many of the listeners know, but cenotes is like underground water caves that you can find
Yeah.
underneath Tulum. It's pretty, not many places in the world you can find this. Actually, it was one of the few spots. So like a portal open in
There's
space, and then
thousands of them too.
thousands. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
basically why you go there. So the lore is that these gorillas are spawning in these portals, galactic portals through
Mhm.
the cenotes, and they're coming into Tulum and just start talking to people like, hey, there's more of us. Like, why do you mint one? Why do you mint one? And then we can help this Earth. So that's really what happened. And at the end of the day, we're like, bro, we need to cut the mint because we left it open for a month, and we're like, we're gonna cut it on this day, this hour. How many we mint? That's gonna be it. So 494 didn't make it. So the total number that of minted were 3,950, and I mean that's how many they were organically.
Hey, that's a pretty solid number. I've been a part of projects that did not even mint that when that was the goal. So I like the you probably had a good push near the end because you're very close to 4,444,
Yeah,
right? So um,
it was that
yeah,
the
because you
last
get
day.
the
I think we minted like 1,000 the last day, just because like I mean people knew that they were gonna. We were like a half when we decided we're gonna close the mint. We announced like we're
mhm.
gonna close it in a week. It was slow, 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 and then the last day just like boom, almost we finished. I mean, that was I'm never gonna forget that day. Like
Yeah,
it was like super high, and that was the day that the work started in reality, right? Like
yeah,
even though we had done
100%.
stuff pre-mint, that's when I was like, all right, people have minted, people have believed in this vision. Now we need to get to work. And I mean, I was blessed to like work while living, right? Like they say, when you find something that
Mm,
is you're passionate about, you're never gonna work a day in your life. That's what I felt. I felt like I was talking to people about the plastic problem, about what can be done, solutions, and then also I was going to eat. And every place I went to eat, I try to speak with the manager, I try to speak with the owner, and try to have a conversation about just the same, like what can we do to help you as a restaurant? Do you have a lot of plastic waste? Like who where do you throw that waste? Like does the city help you with that? They're like, no. Like, do you care about the earth and the environmental impact? They're like, yeah, but like we can do nothing. There's nothing in place by the city. And then that's where we came in. And I mean, it's been a very humbling experience, learning experience, and I'm just so excited for more people to know about us. So I really appreciate again you just getting into these very important topics. I believe that not many people do.
hmm Yeah, I think it's really cool the conversation that we've had so far today, and at the end of the day as well, it's this conversation of how this project's actually making lives better and so forth. Before we move to the next topic, I really just want to cover one more subject here. So you guys minted 3,950. What was the mint price there?
It was 1.44 Solana.
1.44 Solana. So how approximately, like, can you disclose like how much money was raised at that point?
Uh, it was over 240K because I
Yeah.
mean a lot of them, like I put a lot into it as well, like just me personally.
Mm.
Like a lot of the early team, once like I said, when we announced we're gonna close the mint, like the last two
Yeah.
weeks, the last week, even the last day, we were like we were seeing the response, and even like I bought a bag, like more of the.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So a lot of them was
No, that's all you got to say. Simple
but
as that.
yeah, but
No,
it was
I that, that
140.
that's massive. You raised 240K in a span of a month,
Yes.
technically, of minting, and this is a add on in terms of what was already being done, right? How many matcha bags do you need to sell in order to create a $240,000,
Let's
there?
just put it at that. That's a great
Right.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the brand
So,
hasn't even still sold that in 5 years. So yeah, it was amazing to have it. Like, we saw it as like 5 months, from October to February.
mhm.
Like in 5 months, we put X amount of work, and yeah, we raised much more than what the brand had done over
So
the last 5 years.
I,
So
I, I want to hear your perspective on just businesses exploring NFT projects and communities as new land, new opportunity. Where like where do you see it benefiting existing brands and businesses?
I mean, well, in the states, it's hard to tell because there's all these different
Yeah.
applications. I see really more benefits for the end users, which is great. Like there's always like we see a new technology, a new app being developed, and always that the biggest winner is the house or like the businesses that use it, right? Like because they get to cut costs, they get to be more efficient, they get to spend more on marketing, get more clients. So the businesses are always winning in the sense when they implement new technology. So in this case, I mean, of course, the businesses are gonna benefit from having more users, but now I really think that this is a time where these Web3 integrations are being built and they benefit the end user more than the actual business itself. So how would I see it? I see it in the travel business a lot. Like you see what
Mm.
Meta knows has done with DeFi District and his Airbnb business and how he's integrated with Love Token. We've seen it with DGOTS and having that partnership with the basketball team, the Big Three membership. So I think that anything that's a membership, whether it's a membership to a soccer team, like in Mexico, actually, I'm gonna drop you an alpha right here. Everyone listening, I'm gonna drop some alpha. So there's a big soccer team, and soccer is like the biggest thing in Mexico. That's like the sports.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like that's the Mexican number one sport, and there's a
Yeah.
big team from like the professional league that's gonna create their own NFT collection. So, and they're doing it because, of course, they want to give special access to their fans. So now a holder can have an access to going into a practice. They're gonna have access to maybe winning a reta, which is like a 5-on-5 with their friends against five of the players. Also, like a penalty
Mm.
shootout with the goalkeeper. So it's like perks that you always dream of, but like as a kid, we say like you love these, you love Barcelona, you love Real Madrid. You dream with like doing a shootout with the player,
Yeah.
but like how do you really go about that if you don't have any connections, if you're not like a player or like a scout like invites you, like you don't really have that opportunity. So bringing that opportunity to the everyday guy, to the everyday fan, I think it's gonna be a game changer. Like just by having this NFT and be part of this Web3 community, you're gonna be able to have something that never before you thought of. And maybe the usual, right? Like 10% on tickets for the games, 20% on the
Yeah.
merch store, just the usual. But it's also gonna bring up new opportunities that it was really hard before to make them an actual reality. So as far as me, I mentioned this before. I have a solar company in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Texas currently working on that company, and I'm looking for ways to integrate also my business into the Web3. So far, the only thing that I've been successful is just the onboarding more of the or of my peers, people I work with, like contractors, electricians, CEOs of other companies that I work with, just getting in and hey, getting this early. NFTs are the future, crypto's the future, getting this early. This is mine. It's Gorillas and it's green. So if you want to be in something, might as well be a green one. So that's kind of like what's working right now. But my vision and how I see the market in general, I really see more of what I'm doing happening throughout 2023, which is more Web3 people getting into conversations and getting into meetings with regular Web2 businesses and just figuring ways that we can make it win-win. I think that at the end of the day, the user is gonna win because he's gonna get more like rewards points. They're gonna have more ways to redeem those rewards points. Um, I see it with Starbucks, right? They're putting their rewards points in Polygon. So I think that the biggest winner is the user, and we as a community we need to um, figure out what do we want as a community, because now we have the power. We have the power to dictate what benefits they give to us, because we have a voice. So I think this is literally the revolution of information and of decision making. DAOs.
Yeah, so I think my answer to the question, it's basically how I can see NFTs and business go together. It's about, establishing more trust, know, like, and trust with your communities, with your customers, with your people that buy your products, and you can create tie-ins with, say, like an NFT, like you said, this exclusive rewards benefit, this VIP access, this
Yes.
VIP program, and you can tie it in a very unique experience
Yes.
that ties in with the customer itself, creating a raving fan base. For
Yeah.
example, now we helped create a project, Meta Tattoo Club, and now we have thousands of additional raving fans that are behind the brand and the vision, that are rallying with us and willing to go the extra mile with us together. Meanwhile, they get rewarded exclusive perks tied in with the tattoo industry, etc. And
Yes.
so I can see,
Def-
as businesses move forward, you could look into the NFT space as a place to create more, number one, I guess, brand awareness, but number two is just more community driven utilities.
yeah.
Why would someone invest into NFTs versus the stock market? You know, same same kind of concepts and deal, what you're receiving in terms of speculation and growth, and the value of the NFT or the share as things go on with a business. Same sort of concepts, but the difference maker, NFTs are a lot more fun just because there's this extra layer of engagement that comes alongside of this communities that you gain access to. NFTs are simply just an access card to gain access to certain perks, utilities, and so forth. Now you have this raving, community, family, whatever you want to call it, that's on the same similar mission as you. And now, what you've done is you created a community that is all about creating, more sustainability in the world, that care about, the plastic issues in the world, that just want to make, more things more green and more eco-friendly. That is really powerful. So I
Exactly.
really love it. And that's my answer to that. Do you want to add in anything on that?
You just with you. I loved your answer. You got me thinking. It's kind of like before businesses. At just take it back to the beginning of social media. So social media was starting. Of course, it was not big yet. So like businesses that adopted social media early, and then like, why would I want to do that? Oh, because with social media, you can bring more brand awareness. You can bring a community that loves your social media and starts interacting. They can comment. They can, oh, I like this, I like that. So this is like the second layer. Now a brand not only has social media to boost its impact, but now they can also boost it with a Web3 community with an NFT. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
one.
Oh, are you still there? I was just like, my
I'm still here. I just put on low data mode,
oh,
so the recording's still showing video and stuff. We just don't see it on the stream, like between
perfect.
you and I. So I just turned that on just to make the flow go well.
But
So
did you get that though? Like, it's like just before, like,
oh yeah, I heard all of it.
not,
Yeah, loud and clear. So Elio, now for the future of yourself, I guess, and as well alongside with Gorillae Gang, like where do you see the future go with in yourself, plus the business of Gorillae Gang in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years from now?
yeah. So in the next year, our goal for me is keep integrating with a solid business. So we have, of course, the solid like Gorilla Matcha. It was like our first anchor, but now I really want to solidify my solar business, which is also sustainability, right? Renewable energy, energy from the sun, and just integrate that with not only that community, but if it's a way possible, into tying some benefits with the token. That's number one. Now, number two, me, the Tarzan, the other founder and part of the core team, are gonna be traveling around Mexico and also the states. We want to go to NFT NYC, of course, but Mexico principally. We have next week an event in Monterrey. We have Crypto Tulum Crypto Fest in May in Tulum. We have another a big event, NFT Shows Mexico in Mexico City. So we just want to touch base on all those different activations, Web3 activations happening in Mexico. That way, people are aware of what we're doing. And also
Hmm.
in one of these events that we already attended, this was in Chihuahua. Google was there and Amazon Web Services were there, and they were telling us some inside information. Basically, they have money from Silicon Valley, and they're looking into building validator nodes for Solana in Mexico, just because Mexico is probably the third best place in the world to build not only just validator nodes but anything crypto mining related, because electricity is so low cost, so it's very affordable to run a validator in Mexico compared to the United States. And so the mission this year for the Gorillae Gang is just to keep connecting with other businesses and communities, talk to them about building a validator and possibly building one ourselves. That way, we help decentralize the network, we help stabilize it, and we help they grow in a more decentralized way. So keep growing, so we can have our own validator. And to help this goal, we're gonna also have a female. It's gonna be space fairies. So it's like a second collection for the Gorillae Gang. Instead of being male gorillas, now it's a female pixelated character with a just the appearance of like a space elf of a fairy, and they're gonna help us with this second layer of the project, and hopefully now that we have a community for a year now, we're gonna have a bigger impact and more people know about us, because we always gonna keep it true that we're gonna just rely on organic marketing.
So cool. So you also got some speaking gigs at some of these events that you'll be going to, right?
Correct. I'm gonna be speaking in the how blockchain is gonna impact the travel business. That's gonna be in Monterrey, and in the Crypto Fest, I'm gonna be speaking about something very similar to today, about just the whole journey of the Gorillae Gang, and how we our challenges, how we did it, how we can help others just be better and learn from our mistakes, and then same thing like you, like how are we gonna take on the vision for the future. So I'm very excited for that Tulum Crypto Fest in May. So I hope I see you there. There's some DGOTs going. There's some Bored Apes going. So it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be one of the biggest events on the world, actually. And I say this because even if you think of Tomorrowland, Tomorrowland is a big EDM event,
Mm.
and they just held their first Tomorrowland in Tulum. It was in January this year. So I think it's gonna become an international spot, just because of Tomorrowland. And once people visit, they're gonna see all the great stuff that we're building.
Yeah, so cool. I honestly, like, yeah, if I'm in the area, I definitely want to come show up. It's definitely a priority, this year to just continue to network, continue to build brand awareness,
Hmm.
and continue to connect with people. Right? You never know what one connection could lead you to, and that's all that it can take. Right? So, like you said, there's some big names in this space, and they're showing up to some of these events too,
Yep.
and they're doing stuff. So why not do stuff alongside or make that connection, put that foot in the door? So that's exactly what you guys are doing, which is good to see. So
That's the my favorite
uh
part of Web3. Like, you can just hold the NFT, and then you just plug into a community. You can make a connection that in the world before, like you never thought of having that networking with that person. So it's just like it's a game changer how you can connect, like even you and me. That's why I'm so grateful.
hmm,
We're able to hop on this call just because, like, I have a meta tattoo. I remember you guys when you were creating the hype. I was like, this is gonna be good. They're doing something amazing because they're bridging the gap with the tattoo industry, which is very physical. It's like the most physical you can be. Like, you have to actually like
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then taking it into this Web3 cloud. So I was always a fan of what you guys doing, and then when you minted out with that hype, and it was really bad that month. It was like a bad
Yeah.
month in the bear market as well. Bad month for NFTs, bad month for everything, and just seeing what you guys were doing, it was just. I mean, so proud of you guys, but also gave me hope. I'm like, the industry loved these guys. Like, there were so many other projects that
Mhm.
didn't do well in that time, but this one did, just because I think the people identify that the future is in that, like, integrating the same old business, but with a new raving community that can do so much more. So I mean, I just love your project also, because I just, it feels like it resonates, and it just has so many similarities to what we want to do.
And that's exactly it, right? It's taking an existing established brand that's already in an industry and looking at, hey, how can we expand this more globally? And that's where we tied in an NFT project to help create the further vision, to help execute on the next ideas. And that's why we tied in an NFT project. And if we succeed and do it very well, it can be, wow, like, who knows what the result is, right? Or if we, come out and we end up failing, but we tried our best, that's exactly where it stands as well. And so far, I think we've been doing a solid job, and it's just excited to kind of continue on that route. But that's exactly it. It's like, yo, how can we continue to grow this? It's adapting with market changes. It's adapting with the times. It's diving into this new tech. And I really see NFTs as a whole. I look at it as a technology, and as a whole, you hear from, like you said, Google, big. I heard Amazon, something around an Amazon thing. I heard, Gary V, he talks about this all the time, right? Guess what? You can, or even Alex Hermanzi with this AI stuff, he talks about, adapt or die, essentially.
Yeah,
And that's the
it's
same
name of
thing
the
I want to
game.
leave as a message here. So it's definitely the name of the game. Whether you like it or not, you're going to own an NFT in the next 5 years.
Whether you call it
Like
an NFT or
everybody.
not, right?
Yeah, whether it's called an NFT or not, but the same tech, you'll be using it.
Exactly.
I
I,
heard
I
as
saw
well they've
something
been,
on California, some county, they're gonna do like license plate registration through blockchain. So I mean,
yeah,
that's gonna be right there an NFT in itself. Like every registration of your license plate, that's gonna be NFT'd. So I mean,
yeah.
it's coming.
I heard something as well. I think it is also in California as well, where they're testing some of this tech in terms of like hospital patient files and using it inside of like the hospital,
Yeah, so you can
right?
have all
You
the
can tie
records.
this into so many industries.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely, and like, for example, when you were saying like taking an established business like tattoos. Okay, we've seen tattoos, but also before Gymshark, we've seen, like, we have Nike, we have Adidas, we got Lululemon, we have all these brands for, like, fitness stuff. And Gymshark still came in, did his own thing, did it well, stayed focused, adapted, and did very well. So I just think that
Yeah, and now Gymshark's competing with those brands too. They're right there alongside with them.
yeah,
So pretty
it,
cool.
yeah. And before, like, 10 years ago, it was an underdog, and now you put in the same category. Or like even DGOTs, like, as far as like an NFT project. I remember when SMB were and DJ Nape Academy were the top dogs, and even Buyorku Dragons. And then from when we bought it, actually, when we bought the DGOTs at 20 Solana, 2 months later they were the top dogs in Solana. So I was like, oh my god, like, everything can change. um DGOTS has shown that, right? Like, they wanted to do a marketplace at the beginning, they wanted to do this, and it's just like trying new stuff. And what my mom always says, right? It's like change is the only constant. So I'm very excited being early, being able to have adapted so many times so far, and looking
Hmm.
forward to just adapting more as this keeps evolving, right? Like, the more people that are in the space, the more opinions we're gonna have, the more tastes, the more personalities, the more necessities, the more talent. Everything's gonna change. With more people in it, it's gonna obviously just make us change. But I think it's for the better, and I just couldn't be happier to connect in with people like you that actually get it. So I mean, it's been a pleasure, brother. I'm a fan of what you're doing. I'm a fan of these podcasts. I think this is what the future needs as well. Just people hearing out how we did it, what we learned, what we did good, what we could have done better. Because it's gonna keep helping the next one and the next one. So I'm very blessed again.
And that's the goal with these conversations, man, is just to inspire, one more life, one more person to just take a little bit more action.
Yeah.
That's it. Be open to dive in and get educated a bit more. That's all it takes. Put in your 40 hours, put in your time, start learning, go buy an NFT, go get involved with a community, fail a couple times, but just go do it.
And,
And
and
that's as simple as
I
that.
like what you said about like telling action, because when Steppen was like popping, right, everyone's like, oh, I can just
Mm-hmm.
get paid for running. Like that was great, because like people they encourage a lot of people to actually get up of the couch and go just for a quick run or a quick walk, right? So with the gorillas, now that you mention it, my goal in the short, medium, and long term, whatever it is, you remember that bucket challenge that was going around a couple of years ago? I
Yeah.
don't know if it was
Yep.
TikTok, but it was in Facebook or Reels. So I want to do something like that, and we tried it. We tried it during Mint, which is called like either the recycle or the plastic challenge. Because if you can just change 30 seconds of someone's day, like right now, I'm gonna tell it to you. Maybe you do it next time, but next time someone sees a plastic bottle or some waste on the floor, if you can take 30 seconds to pick it up and dispose and the nearest trash can, you don't realize like how you like the next time you see another one, you also gonna see it, identify, and then put it away. And then and if we can start spreading that through like a viral TikTok, like it only takes like 15 seconds, right? You can pull out your phone, you record yourself, you pick up a plastic, and then you put it on the trash, and then hashtag plastic challenge, and then you can tag at Gorillae. And if we can get that going, just like the bucket challenge, which it was for awareness for this syndrome that they were trying to bring awareness. Now we're
Mm-hmm.
trying to bring awareness to the plastic problem, right? So that's a goal that we have in mind for either short, medium, or long term. But we do want, and we are going to have this challenge go viral. You're gonna see thousands of people just like once it go viral, it goes viral, right? And they're gonna just be picking up plastic everywhere, making it like a little habit. Just like it makes a difference. Even if we're not gonna maybe pick the 9 billion tons that we have out there, but maybe we can help pick up 1 billion tons. You know, like 10% of that. It's gonna be huge help for not only the planet but us. Because at the end of the day, we're
That's
taking
all
care
it
of
starts
us,
with.
of our environment.
Yes, sir. Hey, I like that. I could partake. Why not? Right. So, Elio, man, is there anything like lastly that you want to touch in on before we do wrap up this episode for tonight?
So just
Is there
touch it.
anything else that you want to leave our listeners?
Yeah, well, everyone that's listening and likes what we're doing, what we're building, how we're thinking, and how we want to impact, I just invite you to check us out, Gorillae Gang, and let us know your ideas, like whether it's in the Twitter or the Instagram. Like, how do you think we can do something fun to make it viral, where everyone like picks up like a piece of plastic a day, right? So let us know. We want to make it fun. We want the community to tell us how they want this to be done, and just know that and you don't have to buy the NFT to support us. Like I said, just by recording a video and tagging us, that's more than enough help, because maybe that's gonna make someone else see it, get inspired, and maybe buy it. So you don't have to buy the NFT. You can support us just by being part of this amazing movement. And thank you so much.
Now, if someone does buy the NFT, why do they want to buy one?
Well, it was you just be helping it to accelerate. Like I said, 50% of the royalties go to the DAO, and the DAO is always looking to invest in green ventures. So the green venture that we have going on right now, of course, is a recycling in Tulum. But if you have a cause or an idea that you want to make it happen in your city, you can submit an that's what it's called, uh, proposal. You submit the proposal, you explain what you want to be doing. We can get on a call, we can just see what we want to do, and then the DAO can vote on it, and we can fund it. We had a proposal of doing just a restaurant that is just vegan, eco-friendly, and also accepts the token. So any ideas that you want, you can bring them to the DAO. So that's a benefit of being inside. And just by buying it, just know that you're supporting other people's ideas of how can we can make this planet better. And just as far as exciting things, we're gonna bring in all the cool stuff that you see on Web3. We have a metaverse with Keepoverse. We're eventually gonna have a fun game that's gonna be rewarded with a token. We're gonna bring on sustainable merch, and we're gonna keep expanding to more and more beaches. Beach near you, very soon. And if you wanna make us help make that happen, if you live near a beach, you have a group of friends that care about the environment, and you're like, I can pull up a crew of like a beach cleanup crew, every Sunday. More than welcome to buy a Gorillae, become our ambassador, and then you can start holding those beach cleanups in your area. Nothing will make us more happy.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, guys, you can definitely buy into this project. Make sure you pay your royalties. It's a very simple toggle to toggle that on to make sure you are paying royalties when you do buy. And from that, you're now a part of this ecosystem. As the brand grows, as you guys continue to grow, you're going to continue to earn their native token, right? The NFT is simply just
The ticket.
it's simply like you get access to of course the community, but it's also the ticket to earning this coin, which is your mining device that earns a coin, and then you can use that for whatever more utilities that they bring to that token itself. So I'm definitely going to be scooping one right here, right now. There's a beautiful one sitting on the floor. It's got like a rainbow tongue mouth that's
that's
sticking
kind of
out.
rare. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's sitting right on the floor
Oh
price.
my god.
Fucking
Welcome. I
cheap.
was gonna say
And
everyone. I mean, is like the also another. This is a lot cliche. It's gonna sound cliche, but it's true. When you buy also you're buying into that community. Like everyone that holds one, I told Trevor before, they deeply care about the community. Super smart people, super humble, and everyone wants to help. So you're gonna connect with a lot of like-minded individuals. Without, I don't think you can find anywhere else. Now, also, you're gonna find a community that is diamond hands. If you look, I believe it's only 10% listed, which we're very proud of. So basically, 90% of the people are just believing, holding for the long term. So, I mean, that is my prediction, NFA, but I mean, I am an alpha caller as well. So, I mean, you just buy and accumulate. I think the floor is gonna go back to all-time highs because everyone that buys in just like holds. There's not a lot of paper hands.
what was your all-time high?
10 Solana.
10 Solana.
Yeah.
All right. So floor price sitting, I just raised it up a bit. It's 1.37
Let's go.
is the floor price
Gorillae
at the
Gang.
time of this recording. So Gorillae Gang out. Freaking do your own research. But hey, I can vouch for you, Elio, man. You do a lot of educational content as well. And at the end of the day, you get in, you ask the right questions, you get the support that's necessary. You're going to be onboarded really nicely within the Gorillae Gang. So, hey, Elio, man, it was a pleasure. Note to everyone that's listening, all the links that you need are going to be linked in the show notes below. So just be sure you can kind of do your own research, click around. All that will be in the show notes. Easy access. Elio, my man,
Trevor,
it was a deep pleasure.
I'll see you.
This was a great conversation. Thank you.
I'll see you, Trevor,
Yeah.
in the Crypto Fest in Tulum, May. And thank you again for having me. We'll see each other.
All right. It's
Bye
a
bye.
pleasure.